All right. Trying to test out first if the music is not that loud. It looks like it might be loud. Try to lower it a little bit. Is it still loud for you?
I can't hear it.
Really?
I assume I muted it.
Probably. Well, it's not on.
I assume I muted it.
Oh, I can hear it. It's like at least on my phone, so we're good. It's not too overwhelming at least. And I'm worried because my rabbit's here. Hello, rabbit. Why must you be here? Shoo shoo, go back. Okay. So, how are you today, love?
I'm pretty decent. I had lunch from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Basically cold donburi.
Donburi? That sounds good.
Yeah, but it's cold because it's straight out of the fridge.
At least you saved it.
I'm kind of sad that I don't have water.
What do you have to do then? No drinks whatsoever?
Not until 1.
Oh no. Okay. Well, let's hope our live stream ends and then we can hopefully let you go and then you can go get your water.
Yes.
Don't die. Don't die. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So welcome everyone to our third podcast, and my name is Hannah, and this is my partner.
Big boy Calvin.
Yeah, big boy Calvin. So with today's did I say lesson? My God, I'm like in teacher mode right now. I meant to say with today's section we will be talking about
Podcast.
Podcast. Okay.
Podcast.
All right, podcast. You're right. So with today's podcast, we will be discussing things about then and now. Hopefully it's something that piques your guys' interest. We'll be reflecting on our relationship, but also I got some of these questions online from Reddit, so hopefully, yeah, everyth's good.
Yeah, let's go.
You have the notes too, love.
Yes, I know. Well, basically, the first question is asking, like, what was the most difficult thing about LDR back then?
Do you remember?
What do you think? You go first.
What was hard? Honestly, I never thought being separate from you was hard. I didn't think it was difficult. I was like, you know what? As long as we get to talk every day, have emotional connection, I don't mind. I don't mind that we're not together in person, because I just like the idea that we can just talk to each other and like have emotional conversations together and whatnot. So I just never minded it. But the problem was you weren't good with emotions. So I think that was the thing that stressed me out the
Yeah,
most.
boy. Well, personally, I think the hardest thing back then is high key distance, and the fact that you weren't there as a person, because I've never had like super long LDRs.
Mm-hmm.
Like as bad as it gets, the LDR is usually like an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
So time wasn't usually a huge thing.
Did you ever think I was fake?
Nah, because we video called. Remember?
Yeah, we did.
Like one of the first few times we instantly video called, and that was like the easiest way to figure out whether you're fake or not.
Honestly, yeah. That was where I confirmed that you're not like some kind of stalker.
Catfish?
Yeah, like catfishing, a stalker, I don't know. But I did have a feeling you were really into me, so I'm just like, nah, man.
Plus, thing is, we've known each other for like a few years.
We did before we started dating. So it was like around Frozen's time, 2014, if you remember. No, 2013, my bad. 2013 was Frozen. Well, compared from back then and now, do you think there was anything that's different about LDR?
I mean, like, back then, distance was hard. At this point, I really don't care much for it. Like, I'm so used to, like, your time zone and whatnot. It's not that big a deal. But the hardest thing is, as I've said 1,250 times, the what you call it, the communication.
Communication, I agree.
That's the hardest thing,
Yeah,
honestly.
definitely. I think that too. Definitely communication. I believe on your part. Because
On both of our parts.
I guess both our parts. We've been going up and down with like voicing what we want to say, but it's always been this feeling where we're overthinking. We're not sure if what we're saying is the right thing, etc. I think compared to the past, I think the most difficult thing about LDR today is knowing when to close a distance. Bless you.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you caught that. I thought
And it sucks that
yeah.
after being in being close distance for like 10 months and whatnot, it sucks that we're back in LDR because back then we haven't closed the distance, so it was kind of whatever. Like after closing the distance, it sucks, especially now that I'm sick right now and I want you to be here, but like you can't be here
I
and you're
know.
weak.
And like it's frustrating too because I know you're sick and I can only do so much. Being call, I think I became more of a nagging mom to you more than anything. Like why are you going? Like why are you going out of the house? You're sick. You should be bed rest. Why are you playing video games? Blah 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 blah. So I feel like that's the most I could do in LDR was I became his like a nagging mom or nagging wife or nagging whatever you want to call me, nagging partner to him because the frustration of just wanting to like be there and do these things for him, take care of him, but I can't. It's really frustrating. And like on my part where I said what was difficult was not closing the distance this year, which was our original plan. It's frustrating trying to let go, knowing that this could have been it, like we could have been together right now if had it not been for COVID. That remorse, like feeling really angry that there's nothing we could have done anyways, and if I was still there in Indonesia, I probably wouldn't have been able to stay long either because I wouldn't have the funding. My job probably would have closed. I don't know if I could switch to online and the company would still pay for me if that was the case. But that being said, it just feels like even if I was there, I might have had come to come. If I had been there, I might have had to come back home in California, regardless.
Hey, but at least you are here for a bit, and that
Yeah.
helps.
I mean, with COVID happening like right now, I'm not closed off to the idea that maybe if it improves, I will still buy a ticket and I will still fly there, even though I don't know what the future's looking right now. I mean, the update with me is my school decided to put my classes on hold, so I don't even know if I'm going to my fall semester courses this year. And
Mhm.
even though it's completely online too, which it wouldn't have made any difference, only the fact that if I was there living with you, I would be awake from 2 a.m. up until 11 a.m. your time zone just to attend classes, and then I would sleep around 12 p.m. And that's how I would be able to attend classes in America, but still be with you in person. That's the sacrifice I'm taking, though. And that was my plan too if I was still taking classes, but now that my classes are on hold and me going to school is a mystery right now, it might be even better for me because I just have to
So like the
work.
classes are on hold, huh? That's a little weird.
Yeah.
Why? How?
Okay.
How does that work?
So with my case, it's I had submitted my FAFSA form. So if you guys live in California, I don't know if other states do the same thing. We have a thing called financial aid for university students. You can apply for this for families who can't afford to cover majority of your tuition for school. But the deal is you have to maintain above a 3.0 GPA. And for me, I didn't know if I was gonna go to my master's program so soon. I was supposed to wait 2 years, because of our plan for LDR. And turns out with my cancellation of going there last May, or this past May, I had to choose going to classes, and that was my priority. And when I applied, I already missed my Pell Grant submission because it was back in May, or like, no, it was way back in March to apply for it or something like that. And then I applied for my FAFSA, I submitted it early, and then there was a form I misread, and I thought it was due on July 17th, but instead it was due on June 17th. So I submitted it late, past the deadline. It didn't say anything that I wouldn't get FAFSA or anything. It just says I will miss out on being a priority, but it doesn't say that I don't get any financial support, you know? So because of that, I don't know what happened. I've been checking my student portal and it kept saying that I don't have access to receiving a financial awards. And as a result, because I couldn't access that, the deadline to pay for classes was 2 days ago, and they decided to stamp my account and say my classes are all on hold. So I don't know what's happening anymore.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, it's really weird too.
It sucks.
But hopefully tomorrow I'm gonna call the office and make sure that I'll hopefully start classes. But in all honesty, I'm totally flexible if I don't start this semester. I just hope they keep me in the program and don't drop me just because I can't pay for the classes, you know? So I don't mind taking a semester like off so I can focus on working a lot this semester too. So it's not a problem for me. And maybe, you know, fingers crossed, COVID gets better in the USA, I can fly out and then I can be with you. And then I can just work online.
Mm-hmm. Life easier.
Yeah, life would be so much easier then.
None of this LDR stuff. The poo-poo.
Like all of
'Cause
the...
I think LDR to an extent is poo-poo.
It is. So,
It's big suck.
so, how do you feel actually with everything I shared with you? With our current situation compared to back then, do you think it's still hard today, or do you think it's easier?
What's hard, LDR?
Yeah. How do you feel now with our experiences?
I think LDR now is I wouldn't say it's easier because it's not. It's just like different. It's just I can't say it's easy. It's just different. Like if I say it's easy, that's a lot. But if I say it's hard, it's also a lot.
Yeah. What would you describe it then? Would you say it's
It's
difficult?
challenging.
Challenging? In what way do you think it's challenging?
It's not hard. It's just challenging because you need to change a lot just to be an LDR, and especially the fact that we know what we are like in person, that makes it even harder
Yeah.
because LDR doesn't what you call it doesn't show who you really are.
I think so too. I think our current situation today is not as bad as back then. I think actually no, mine is actually backwards, I would say. I think the fact that after I met you, it became more difficult for me because like I said, the first year I didn't really need human interaction. I was very comfortable being single. I was very comfortable not having a partner that I can hold hands with or anything. But it was after we did all of that, I just started feeling it. I was missing you. I really wanted to hold your hand. When I saw couples everywhere, it drove me nuts. I was jealous and I was sad because I was hoping one day it'll come. Like, I hope the day comes sooner that we'll finally be together and do that kind of stuff, you know? So if my personal experience, I think LDR is also bearable today if I focus more on myself, but it's unbearable if I keep focusing about, oh, when is it going to happen? When are we going to close the distance? I start to stress myself out when I think about it that way. Can you recall the times, can you recall any of the moments where we've had problems that still happen today?
What do you mean?
Like, do you notice if we still have problems from back then and it's still continuing to this very day? Like, we had...
Communication. That's
That's the biggest one, I would say, too. Communication.
like honestly, we don't really have problems other than communication problems.
I have another one. Maybe a little bit of FOMO.
Mm,
Do you remember?
I guess. I guess.
It's like,
But that's more like what you would call it. That's more like a how do I word it? I just want to be with you a lot of the time.
mm-hmm,
And like since we're in LDR, it's hard if you're not with your other if you're not with your partner because to begin with you're not there physically
mm-hmm.
and you just want to be there like at least in call or at least you want to game together, or at least you want to like watch stuff together, at least just be there.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you and sometimes you get FOMO, get left out, but sometimes your partner needs them time.
Mm-hmm. I still feel like, yeah, that can be a case with me. What I did notice, though, is that when I'm busy, I don't care what happens to my partner. So, yeah, I mean, like, if I keep myself preoccupied, I don't feel that FOMO feeling where it's like, oh, can I please join you in call while you're out? I just want to hear your voice, blah, blah, blah. It's just that whole comfortableness of, like, wanting to feel you're part of the event, that whole FOMO thing. It's like sometimes it's hard for me to respect that, okay, he has to be by himself and be with his friends while I don't want to cope with myself being alone anymore at this point, I would say. But it's been getting better significantly where where I actually actively try to keep myself busy with other stuff. So by doing that, it's killing time faster, and plus I'm investing more in myself. That being said, what about our communication, love? How did we resolve them? Do you remember any of the tricks and the tips and tricks that we've done back then?
Fix communication.
Yeah, like what were some of the solutions we did to try to cure it? Like we had so many
Heck yeah, I don't remember. I do not remember at all.
Really?
Yeah. Do you?
I do. Plenty.
Hey.
Oh my lord. Because it was always me who was like, we have to fix the communication. For you, it's like, I don't know. So, one of the biggest ones with fixing communication, I remember, is being careful with how you word things properly. Like last night, for example, we had a brief argument, and there was a way I said something, and it didn't come out correctly, and it ended up making you feel offended and I hurt you. And then I realized after I said it, and I thought, oh, I phrased it the wrong way, let me rephrase it. So the moment I rephrased it and I specified more, that fixed it. So like, as you can see in our relationship, if you don't word things carefully, you can hurt your partner, you can make them misunderstand, and it kind of sucks that you have to be so specific at times, but what else can you do? Like, you really want to make sure there's no mistake in your partner mishearing what your intentions are, So that was one of the biggest one, was changing the way I phrase things. What other things for communication problems? I think it's also remembering that there is someone on the other side of the world who's worried about you, and that they wish at this time they could spend time with you, but it's not like they know what you're doing, and as frustrating as it is that maybe you don't want to report to your partner, it just shows kindness, that you're being considerate, that they're also waiting for you too, like we respect that. Like, for example, I respect the fact that you're doing your own life, but I appreciate it when you message me and say, hey, I'm gonna be busy today, I don't know what time I'll be back, I'll probably be back like before lunch, or I'll be back later on tonight. It's just a lot of things to do. Just giving me that heads up just makes me feel, okay, cool, I can make this whole day for myself without feeling bad, because I don't have to worry about entertaining my partner, and I can just go ahead and go out with my friends, I can work on a project, do my own thing, etc. And it makes me feel good that I can focus on myself too, when we communicate like that. And I think the last thing, was early on in my relationship with you, I had to get over the fear of feeling rejected, not being loved by you. Like, there were times where I didn't know how to say or express something to you, and I was afraid you would hate me for it. So I always had to talk to my friends about it. I had to ask multiple people for advice, thinking if it was the right thing to say. And at the end of the day, they're telling me, Hannah, you need to go you need to talk to him. Just tell him, he's not going to get it. And if he loves you, he won't, cut ties with you or something like that. Like that's really like if he does it, then he's shady and like just forget him, you know. So that being said, it just made me feel like, you know, I should come clean, be honest with you at all times, and just jump for it and just show that I respect you in a way. So that's why I communicate a lot. Those were my ways of how I solved it. You don't remember any of yours? I think I know one.
I don't at all.
You told me...
I have bad memory, and you know this.
Well, last night was an example when you said giving you the heads up to prepare mentally and emotionally for a conversation, not just throw it at you when you're not ready. You know, like respecting boundaries that way, I would say.
You know yourself, I have the worst kind of memory.
You're so lucky. I have like a time capsule for a memory every so often.
It's like my brain just decides to, you know, tell the memory to fuck off.
He's like not ready.
Hey, you're a memory? Go away. Oof. Hear that motorcycle?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that. I'm on the 25th floor and I can hear that.
That is insane, hearing that.
Imagine if like I was on the first floor or something.
I can't imagine how loud that is. That's crazy.
Disgusting.
Mm-hmm. That being said, do you remember, like, okay, since we've been reflecting so much about the earliest times of our relationship, what about the times that we tried to keep everything exciting, fresh, and alive since we just barely started? Do you remember our first 2-3 months together?
We tried to find stuff to do together, like streaming sites, which we found, but it already died. It was Rabbit.
Oh, I missed that. I missed Rabbit so much.
I mean, at this point, we can just use Discord because, you know, you can watch stuff there together with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, Rabbit was pretty dope. I can, like, watch anything on their quote-unquote browser, and then I can just give you the remote if I'm too lazy.
Yeah, that was pretty epic. I missed that. I missed that so much. Like, there's never gonna be a browser that was as good as Rabbit. Like, I can't believe they sold it to another company. We even tried it.
Trash.
Yeah, it was trash. Like, we tried it, and it was trash. It was not good.
It's called Cast or something.
Oh, man, I can't even remember it. That's how bad it was to me. It didn't leave me an impression that I needed to remember the name.
It's that.
I think... What else did
What a
we
waste, honestly.
I don't think we did any of the streaming until our second year, actually, if you think about it.
So?
Because our first year we were always on call with each other. We rarely ever did like watch an anime or a movie together. We were always calling each other. You used to serenade to me all the time. You would bring out your guitar and you would sing to me every single night. And then I still remember the days you got upset when I was doing my homework and just listening to you. You were basically my radio station.
How dare.
I mean, it's the truth. It was nice listening to you, but I still had to do work. Like, I was in community college back then.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we used to do?
We're in weenie college.
Let me see. What else did we do when it was fresh and alive? We never sent pictures to each other.
I'm not a fan of selfies.
You were never a fan of selfies, but I always wanted pictures of you, so you did take a couple of them for me.
Even to this day, I'm not a fan of selfies.
You say that, but you still send me selfies.
Occasionally, but like super rarely.
Mm-hmm. I think that was it for the most part. Like, we really didn't cross into watching anime until the following year, as far as I remember, because...
You think so?
Yeah, because, I mean, we were only together for 7 months and we broke things off. And then we got back together the following year. We should make that as our next podcast, breakups. Like, all of the negative things in the relationship. Let's do it. That sounds like a fun conversation.
How much you're a weenie? How much of a weenie you were?
No. Yeah, I guess I could reflect on that. I was not very happy back then. So That's a good topic, so thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
And that being said, because we broke up in 7 months, did you ever think about that our relationship was moving way too fast for you?
I actually don't remember what happened in the first few months of our relationship. I don't remember what happened before you came here for the first time.
Oh my lord. Well, I still remember some.
I don't.
For
I'm
me,
dumb.
the relationship was too fast. I mean, you said I love you the following month after we hooked up.
I mean, that's fine.
I was like, no. I was like, you love me already? I'm not ready to say it back to you.
I mean, I personally think it's fine.
I think LDR does get too fast though, because considering that we spent those 3 weeks when we first got together, and like the fact that I confessed to you that I had a crush on you and you were trying to hook up with me, we spent those days together and we talked about a lot of things about each other. We talked about ourselves a lot. We talked about hobbies, our plans for the future, and everything. And we talked about like life in general. So we talked every single day, and it felt like it was too fast for me. I don't think you remember that, do you? Do you remember?
I don't see what's wrong with talking every single day.
The problem was, I know a lot of people who did LDRs, they also tell me this too, that the relationship is way too fast for them. And it's hard to keep up. It's because, yeah, like, the honest story is because you keep asking to know them. Like, when you keep asking them questions, when you get to know each other, all this stuff, it does feel too fast because in LDR, what can you do? You're always in call with each other if you make the time for it. But if you don't put space in between, which is kind of hard for LDR couples in the beginning, because I mean, you and I, if we didn't call each other for one day, it was like, what are you doing? I miss you. When will you get on? Blah, 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 blah. It's all about this puppy love and stuff. And it was cute back then. But you can see how it went too fast, right?
No.
You really don't?
Nah.
Oh my god, yeah. But it was really fast, I would say. It was too fast for me. I kind of felt I was getting too serious with you too quickly, I would say as well. Yeah.
Then again, I'm just clueless as usual.
You were clueless, like,
I still am.
at least you know.
I'm not gonna deny it.
I think for couples who are early in this relationship and they realize the relationship is moving too fast, how to slow it down is definitely put some time away from each other. Like, don't be afraid to focus on working. Don't be afraid to focus on school first, because I mean, those are really important things to look at. The relationship is important, but it shouldn't be your highest priority, because if you put relationship above your job or work, how will you survive, right? So
But don't leave your man alone as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's just sad.
Yeah, just don't abandon your partner for long durations too. Communicate, that's why. So you have to communicate, set schedules. I tell my friends about this. I'm like, remember, make a schedule with each other. Like, if you can't meet today, to plan for a date the next day. It sounds stupid, but you have to plan it out because it has to align with your schedule and you guys can be together. Just don't flat out just like ignore them and just abandon them, wondering like what's happening on your end, and like don't make them feel like you're ignoring them. Like, at least tell them, I'm at work right now, my texts are gonna come in slow today, but if you text me, I promise I'll respond to them as soon as I have an opportunity to do so. So by just doing that, you do let your partner know that yes, you're at work, and that they're not gonna get upset that that you don't care about them. You're just focusing on yourself and your job. And I think that's the best advice I can give for the time being. And it's not bad. Like, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, if I'm starting work soon, I'm not going to be with my partner. They're going to think I'm neglecting them. They're not going to feel neglected if you help make them understand that you need to work. It's a necessity. And how could you as a partner tell him or her, why choose job over me? Well, I mean, how are you going to get an income? Like, how are you going to support yourself for the future? You have to balance it. And like, I think we've come across that kind of feeling together before. Do you remember?
Nope.
Of course you wouldn't.
It's not something new that I don't remember stuff.
It was hard because I remember you did an internship with a phone company, and you were telling me how this one phone could be underwater at the time, and it could function. Do you know what I'm talking about? So that, yeah, Hisense. That was a job you worked for back then, or the internship you took, and basically, when you were working, I felt a lot like significantly lonely. That's why I often went out when you were busy, but eventually with time, like now that I'm at this pace and in this place and in this pace with you, it's very peaceful to just be by myself. Like I don't need to always be with friends, but I don't like not welcome the idea or whatnot. Do you think that over time our relationship has lost its spark though, love?
Nah, not really. I mean, we're still both feisty people.
In what sense do you mean feisty?
Sense where we're actually just feisty people. No, I don't need to I don't need to rephrase that. We are feisty people. we are full of life.
Very lively people, you mean?
Feisty.
Lively.
Feisty.
Potato.
Big boy, big pee moves.
I guess. That being said, did we do anything to respark our relationship for each other, besides
We
texting?
tried finding we tried finding new things to do in our relationship just to keep it alive. Like not keep it alive, just to keep it interesting. Like one of the few things were, oh, we could stream together. That was one of the bigger things back then.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started gaming together. Like we never actually gamed before together, but like we started gaming together. We started with Get Rich.
Line Get Rich, yeah.
Quality game, by the way.
I miss that game. It's like basically Line Get Rich is Monopoly.
It's hardcore Monopoly.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Fun though. I mean, I still have it installed in my phone.
I should get it reinstalled. I miss that game. It was really addicting back then too, because the coolest part was since Line also owned the game, we were able to communicate. I mean, actually, it doesn't matter. Never mind. I take it back. So they basically Line
We can send each other invites.
Yeah, we can send each other invites through the game. So that's one of the advantages of having Line Get Rich, was that we can send messages via Line and say, hey, I'm online, come play. But what I was gonna say was, oh, there's an overlay where we can call while gaming. And I'm like, then again, Line does it for every application. You can be in voice call for everything you're doing. So that's why I said I'll take it back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was one of our earliest games that we played. Line Get Rich. We also played at Coffee Shop. Coffee Club?
I love coffee.
Like, I love coffee, yeah. That was also made by Line. And then we branched, huh?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love coffee. It's I don't know that I talked about it in podcast before. I know I told you before, but I love coffee. It's the closest thing there is to Restaurant City.
Yeah, on Facebook.
And I missed Restaurant City so much, dude. Cause I love it, dude. And then it shut down, and I cried.
Man.
I didn't really.
I still remember. I was like towards level 50. I was hanging in there. I had an expanded restaurant. I had an extended restaurant. I had a car that could bring me to my extended restaurant. Oh my god, I miss that. All my hard work.
I know, right?
That,
Pet Society died as well, but I mean, I never really got into Pet Society.
I got into it.
I had a Pet Society account, but I was meh about it. I played because my friends played.
My god, Pet Society. I was so into it. I had a room dedicated for just fashion. Clothes.
You have to understand that my friend wasted so much money in Pet Society just for it to get shut down.
I think there was another game I played there on Facebook too. Amiibo Pico. That was such a fun game.
I don't know.
That's where I met my first catfish boyfriend. It's so sad. I actually believed he was real. He had all this emo, good-looking stuff, and I was like, hey, you're cute. I'm pretty sure it was a girl role-playing 5 different guys, because they were all using Japanese names, but they spoke really good English. I should have just saw through it. I was a middle schooler who was just blinded in love, you know?
What a loser.
Let me be. I was catfished, okay? Let me be. So ever since then, I've been very careful about stranger danger. I basically broke it off with him after quote-unquote a year. He basically disappeared after 6 months.
Stranger.
Yeah. So that was one of the early games. I used to play MapleStory too. That was like my earliest
You
game.
still do.
I mean, I still do on and off. Not as frequent though. So, yeah. Playing video games definitely on your phone or on the PC with your SO is one of the most fun experiences you can share, because you guys can talk about more like topics. It opens a floodgate to more subjects you guys can talk about. You can talk about leveling together, having dates, encouraging each other to level to a certain level, encouraging quests, and then, you know, you guys are just actively learning new things together, and it's one of the best feelings, and it kills a lot of time, and you guys will
Really?
yeah, and then you guys get addicted to the game, and then you just want to play. Like, for example, we play Valorant a lot lately. So, except for this week, I've been really busy. Like, I've been working a lot. I mean, you can tell when I first introduced us, I said my first lesson, I was like, oh my god, teacher mode.
Should get good.
Hmm.
We should make a get good series for you.
I will start crying. I'm not the best. I'm like, who's the girl again? What's her name? Mary? Definitely Mary.
Who are you talking about?
The wife of Michael. Is that her name, Mary? I forgot her name.
Lindsay?
Oh, Lindsay, yeah. I'm basically Lindsay. In like, actually higher than Lindsay because I can actually play, but I can never get the top rank, so I would say I'm pretty okay.
No, you're pretty much around Lindsay.
What are you saying? Am I higher?
No,
Why? Realistically speaking, can she play?
because Lindsay is actually good at certain games.
Ah, okay. Play. Fair enough, yeah. So certain games I'm pretty decent at too. Like MapleStory is definitely one of them. Valorant, not so much, but at least I can play on my boyfriend's level, and I'm learning how to play the game. I haven't played
You're not playing,
I mean,
but
you're higher
you're
than
at least-
me. You're higher
at
than
least surviving.
yeah. You and your CS:GO experience, so I'm like trying to be like harvest and harness that like
Harvest Moon.
harvest and harness both of them.
Harvest.
Stupid. Such a JoJo reference, man.
Shut up. Let my weed self be.
Yeah. So moral of the story, just play video games together, watch movies together, besides talking.
Fun activities.
And then also, don't forget, even though you're doing these activities, do come back and have a heart-to-heart conversation if needed, if necessary. Make sure to pay attention to each other.
Chowder.
Sorry. Remember to reach out to each other and like discuss and pay attention to each other too, because you know games are one thing, but it's not really giving your attention the need that they're looking for. Like they have stories to share with you too, personal ones. So make sure to check in every so often. At this point, love, if we kept going it at that pace, do you think we would survive this relationship? Let's say if we were stuck longer.
If we what?
Let's say we're stuck in this relationship longer than next year. Do you think we could survive? Like just playing video games?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean not just playing video games. You have to do other things as well. But like, yeah, video games would be a huge factor to like bonding.
Mm-hmm. And survival. So yeah, just come together as friends again, I would say. Best
Come together right now. Copyright.
Oh no. Oh my lord. You caught me. Oh yeah, and sing too. Since my partner and I love to sing together, that's actually pretty fun. We have Smule on our phone. Or they call they changed their name to karaoke. Yeah, they changed their name to karaoke now, but they were called Smule, and we used to sing.
They changed the name?
Yeah, they did. I still have the app on my phone. If you type Smule, you'll still find it. So that's pretty fun, singing together and singing our videos and then just sharing with everyone. Hey, look at me and my partner singing together. It's so cute. Blah 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 blah. You know.
But like, yeah, just find stuff. It doesn't have to be games or singing. If you guys share a hobby or an interest together, God, what
Don't
the hell?
die. You're...
I need to drink water, but I'm out of water.
Oh no! Don't die. Oh my lord!
There you go.
Please don't die. Please don't die.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be like. It doesn't have to be games or singing. If you guys are into some other things, like let's say you guys are into drawing together, you guys are both like graphics designers or something, you could always like draw stuff together, or like make, what you call it? Make
Artwork.
Yeah, but I mean specific kind.
Start a business.
Collabs. There you go.
Collaboration.
Make collaborations for artwork. I mean, if you want.
There's also
like that's an example.
Yeah.
If you guys like marketing, start a business. I'm joking. Don't.
I mean,
unless you really want to.
Yeah, you have to be really. You have to plan well too. Because that being said, right now I'm a co-founder with my one friend with a new company called the English Promenade. We just started our business last Wednesday, I think, on the 15th. Was it Wednesday? I want to double check. Yeah, it was Wednesday last week. We just started the company. We're just trying to advertise as much as we can, trying to help teach English to people who are English as a language to people if they're interested to learn, etc. So what Calvin does in the company is, if needed, we need photography skills, we need pictures, we need designing the logo. Yeah, designing stuff. So that's his role. So I usually come to him and ask, can you make a design for us? Well, I'm the one handling all the teaching lessons.
I'm not busy because I have stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, find something you guys can share and you guys can like passionately do together. Not passion stuff.
And then
that's strictly NSFW.
Yeah. I was gonna say you can even cook together. Just watch a video together and make the food, have the same dinner. I think that's something we should try though, babe.
You, who's afraid of oil?
I will still try, just for us. I want to try at least once. Do you want to today?
Me McWiener.
I mean,
I don't have the ingredients. Though I can like, I found a quality app called Happy Fresh that I could use. Basically, they'll buy the groceries for you.
Oh, we have that here too. Happy Fresh, I think, or is it Cal Fresh?
It's a Singaporean company.
That's cool though. We have something like that too here, where
there's Happy Fresh that I want to try using, but like it's kind of pricey to an extent. The shipping is a bit pricey, but like
you'll also have to worry about using all of the food.
Like, you can exactly. I wanted to buy garlic and garlic salt, no, garlic powder, because I love garlic. But like, you get a promotion for the first time buying if it's like 300,000 worth of groceries. So like, you get your delivery fee free, which is a pretty huge deal because the delivery fee is like 50,000, 33,000, or like $2. But for Indonesians, that's kind of pricey. But if I can buy like 300,000 worth of groceries,
that'd be
or
great.
like $25 worth of groceries for the month, that'd be dope. I don't have to pay attention to going to Alpha Mart again.
Yeah. We're gonna change the pace of this. We've been talking so much about. We're still gonna jump back into LDR. So we're gonna go back to that one moment where we were talking. I mean, the first time we separated. So do you remember the first time I came to Indonesia and then you were accompanying me the day I was leaving? So how did you feel, like, seeing me leave? And then I'll tell you my
I was
experience.
sad. I was sad. I wasn't crying though the first time you left. I cried the second time.
Yeah, you did.
But like the first time you left, nah. I was super sad. I got like really lonely, but that's about it. Uh, but you had like a huge meltdown.
I had a meltdown the first time we separated. I was crying. I actually got sick before I boarded. I caught like a sore throat actually, and I had immense back pain for some reason. So I always had to lay on my back whenever I landed, and I would just shove tissues underneath my glasses because I was just crying so much.
Ugh.
Bless you, Jesus.
Ugh.
Bless you. They come in twos.
Yeah, they always come in twos. Dude, yesterday I had the weirdest fucking sneeze.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna say it. I was picking my nose, and I accident. There was like you know when there's like this is gonna be gross, but you know when there's like hard boogers.
Okay.
Give me a second. I'll mute myself for a second.
Oh my lord. Alright, so while my partner is doing that, he talked about the first time when I left, he was sad. The second time, he cried, which was really sad and touching to me when he told me that the first time. However, on my end, when I first left, I was, yeah, like what Calvin said, I had a meltdown. I was crying throughout the entire flight. I had a video, like, when I first came for my 6 months there, I was vlogging my entire experience, which I failed to still like upload to this day. Like I was planning to do like weekly, the entire videos I recorded for the week, then I'll post it. But it's been so long and I'm like debating, do I still want to do it and like resume like after 3 years later? I'm still resuming like the vlogs from back then. I'm like thinking, yeah, maybe I might do it. Who knows?
Hey,
but in
booger
any
story.
I don't want to hear a booger story. We're running out of
So I
time.
was picking my nose. This is a quick story. So I was picking my nose, right? And like there was a hard booger, and I was like, oh, that's kind of hard.
That's what she said.
But like, shut up. But like, it was a little weird. Like, it was stuck there. So I pulled it out. Apparently, I accidentally pulled like 3 nose hairs while doing it. And then I had a sneeze-a-thon. I sneezed 7 times in a row for the first time in my life, and I was like, "What the hell?" I just couldn't stop sneezing. It was so weird.
I've done that.
I was like, "Hachu," and then I was like, 3rd time, and then I sneezed for the 3rd time, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Hachu. And then I just wouldn't stop.
That's so bad. I'm sorry you went through that. Rest in peace.
Okay, that's my sneeze. That's my booger story.
Oh my god. How am I gonna okay, going back to the main story. It's so weird transitioning from booger story then to me crying. My lord. Yeah, so while I was separated from him, and like I mentioned briefly, I recorded videos while I was there for 6 months. So that being all stored in my phone, seeing the video of like just maybe 5 minutes ago, we were already separated, I started bawling again. I was on the flight watching that video again, I started crying again. I was sniffing so much because I was really sad I had to leave him. I didn't expect that 6 months would fly by very quickly. Like when I was first there, I thought this is too long. I can't believe the days are going too slow. But as soon as things got better, I was like, the days are going too fast. I'm leaving in like 2 weeks, next week, 3 days, tomorrow, today. And then like, it just went by like so fast. And it's just crazy for me just seeing it that way. Just a future note for you guys, if you feel like staying with your partner for a really long duration, I recommend you guys should try to find a job that's available near their city, in their country. And also I recommend you guys doing internships if possible. Because for me, I got sponsored by doing an internship, so I had housing covered. I only had to worry about expenses if I was going out by myself, pocket money for feeding myself. So I would be working majority of the time for Monday through Saturday, and then I would be going on dates with him right after work. He would pick me up sometimes. Or I would come to his campus and we would go on a date from there. So it was a long time, and it was the best, I would say, like best chance, best opportunity, best approach, because I got more bang for my buck, I would say. It was expensive overall. Like I paid maybe 2,000 overall, including plane tickets, but it was worth it in my opinion. So go do that if you guys plan to see your partner for longer than a month. I think the second time, sorry for going off topic, the second time I left, I still cried. Like, it wasn't as bad as the first time, though. Because first, my second trip going back, I had an 18-hour layover flight in Japan. So instead of focusing how sad I am, I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm in Japan, baby. I'm doing my own thing. I went to the Kirby Cafe. I went to the Tokyo Tower. I went to, what's it called? Shibuya, yes. Shibuya, where I saw the Sailor Moon shop. And, like, I was living the dream. I walked for 32,000 steps that day. And, like, I was dying. But it was so worth it. And then when I got home, I was just exhausted. I didn't really need to cry. But after I got home and I called Calvin, that's when I started crying again. Because it was just... It's hard to believe I already left him. And I'm back here in America. And then we have to suffer going through this. So, like... I think it's obvious you guys will suffer for at least 1 week straight when you first leave your partner behind. Well, in my case, I suffered for a good full week. My whole body was screaming, I want to be with him. I don't want to go do anything today. I just want to be in a call with him. I want to hear his voice. I want to see him. I want to touch him. All of that stuff went through my head the very first week. I cried so much for like 2-3 days straight. And then, thank God for my partner. Like, Calvin was very understanding. He'd be in the call with me the entire 3 days where I was going through a lot. And, like, my body was readjusting to being back in California, you know? Like, knowing that I'm not with him. Like, it's true what people say. Love is like a drug. So it's kind of like a really huge nicotine withdrawal when you lose your partner. So the fact that Calvin was very understanding and, like, staying on the phone call with me while I was crying my eyes out, telling him how I want to come back, I wish I didn't leave, planning for the future, things got better because the following week I was like, okay, I'm good now. I don't have to cry anymore. I'm ready to go out and do my own thing. So be patient with yourself when you separate from your partner for the very first time. Even if you feel empty on the inside after you leave them, it's gonna get better. You just have to accept that you just miss them for now, but you will see them again in the future. So, did you also face something similar, babe? Because you said the second time you left me, you cried.
I mean, I cried for like the car ride. That's about it.
I can't.
Literally, that's about it.
I still have the video, and I'm still remembering when you said goodbye to me at the airport. My God, I didn't expect you would cry because I was like the very first time you laughed at me because I started tearing up, and you're like, "Ha, you loser!" So mean. You were so mean. But yeah,
Always.
What made you cry this time? Or that time?
I don't know.
Really?
I guess I was just sad.
Oh, so sweet. I didn't expect you to cry, but thank you. Thank you for shedding your tears for me.
I didn't expect to cry.
Yeah. I think, with also following this question about being separated from your partner and leaving them behind, how did you cope when I was going out with my friends? Like,
I really did.
Like, you didn't have any FOMO or not feeling like, oh, I wish I was with Hana, being involved with her life, blah, blah, blah. Because for me, I felt it. Like, I would say Calvin's living life to the fullest. He doesn't really care about me, blah, 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 blah. And I would start getting upset about it. So how I cope with that was really putting myself on the spot and thinking, how come when I am busy, I don't care about my partner, but when my partner is busy, I get jealous and I get upset and lonely and I want to be with him 24/7.
That's mean.
Well, it's because I don't want to be left alone. And I did, like, look at myself completely. I asked myself questions. I asked myself, why do you feel this way? And I addressed it and said, I was lonely and I didn't want to feel alone. I don't want to be the only one being sad in this relationship, and it's kind of sad and unfair that my partner's, like, he doesn't care. Like, it just doesn't seem like he cares. And that's what I thought, you know? So the fact that I talked this out to you, it did comfort me knowing when you said that it's not, you don't show it, that you don't miss me or anything. You do. You genuinely do. But it's like, I just had a hard time accepting that you didn't, like, you weren't showing it as obvious as me, you know? So, how did you respond when I, well, other than that, what else did you respond to me when I said that to you?
Yeah.
Hmm?
I was like Lamau.
You're hurtful. You don't.
Pretty funny.
You laugh at my pain. Cruel.
I laugh at your pain.
Cruel.
It's hilarious.
Oh my lord.
Your pain is a comedy.
We have another one coming up with this, like kind of stringing along with this former question. I can't even talk. Like
Last question though.
well, I mean, I guess. Um, how did you cope with
Yes.
me? How did you cope with me when I felt resentment towards you that you didn't want to spend enough time with me? Like I would
Being
say,
a poo head,
yeah.
I just dealt with it. It's not that big a deal. You were just being a big poo head, and that's about it.
What about you though? When you were upset when I was out with my friends, you'd say, "Hurry up and come home." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, that's just. I just want to be with you. Hurry up and come home. That's about it.
Like, or when
It's
you
not. It's not like. It's not like. I'll be mad at you for not coming home because that's your friend. Because I would like my me time as well. So I mean, like, I acted pretty fairly to you. That's why I didn't like really yell at you for not spending time with me. Stuff you did, huh? Shade.
Well, I feel it, like I know I feel bad. Like I'm the person who's not good at coping whenever you're away. It's just like, you're taking so long. When are you gonna come back? And I would get upset because I would text him and he doesn't respond.
No, I'm just like spend time with your friends.
Yeah, and like he can be pretty chill about it. Like when I'm focusing and like I'm in this zone where I can actually enjoy my alone time and I don't feel that insecurity or anxiety, I would be like, okay, yeah, like I respect it. Like he can go do his own thing. And then I'm gonna squeeze one last question before you go. How do you cope with free time without your partner?
There's this thing called games.
That's one view to look at it. For
The only view to look at it.
that is for you though. I have plenty more than just that. For me, it's working. When you hang out with your friends and you spend time with them, just don't forget your friends are here with you right now and your boyfriend's awake at a certain time. So spend that free time without him or her with your friends. Go invest and get a project without your partner. Like, focus on yourself and your own life. Remember, you have to build yourself up to be your own individual person before you... Yeah, your individual person before you get... Love. What a bubby. So... yeah, you focus on yourself, build up your character, your reputation, your self-esteem, build up your skills. I mean, so that when you guys get to spend time together, it's like you have all of these new things you can offer into the table of the relationship in long term. Because when you get together in person, that's when that will all come into play. You just don't see it right now while you're in LDR. But in person, once you start living with them or you're getting a job, like... working with them or working by yourself in their country, you get to show this new side of you and they're like, oh my god, like who's this new person? Like they'll fall in love with you all over again because this is something new that you're showing to them after all. Anything else you'd like to add, love?
No.
Okay, but
you pretty much hit everything.
I think so too. Let's hope that we have more questions. So thank you everyone for joining us today for our podcast number 3. We will be having another podcast every Sunday at 10 p.m. Pacific. It's a Pacific Daily Time Zone, I think, or PST. That's my time zone, PDT PST, because we're in daily savings right now in California. For my partner, if you're from Indonesia, you are every Sunday at 12 p.m.
Monday.
Huh?
At 12. Every Monday.
Oh, Monday at 12. Yes, you're right. Every Monday at 12 p.m. And basically UMT plus 7, right? GMT?
UMT?
My bad.
GMT.
Plus 7. Yeah, plus 7 for him. Mine is GMT, negative 7 for me. So, that's
UMT?
GMT.
University.
Stop.
Muhammadiyah Tanggerang.
Stop. That's probably why you said it. Okay, love, go get your water. I know you have plans.
Yeah, I ran out of water today.
Yeah, he needs to go
I'm
get
gonna go.
Alright.
Bye.
Bye, love. I'll close it off by myself. So thank you again, guys, for joining. A lot of the questions that we collect are from Reddit, and a lot of our questions, the way it's formulated, we make it into a conversation, etc. So if you guys have any questions, you guys are welcome to write a question on my Twitch post that I posted earlier today about our podcast. I also have this Discord group called the LDR Cafe if you guys are interested. I'm probably going to just show you here so you guys can see it yourself. Where is the invite button? So, let me try to show it. They're not showing me the link. Okay. Let's see. So just never limit 100 uses. Nope, it's not going to show me. Okay, well, whatever. So it should be public. Hopefully, if you guys want to join, I'll probably add the link to this LDR Cafe under that Twitch stream. And thank you guys for joining again. I will see you guys next week, next Sunday at 10 p.m. PDT, PST, whatever. And we will have more questions in store for you guys. So, bye!